Countries around the world are developing and expanding their climate action strategies and solutions to save them from climate disasters. Nigeria has not been an exception in terms of an increase in disastrous events such as drought, desertification, erratic rainfall patterns, sandstorms, and devastating floods. COP28, taking place at the Expo City, Dubai, will feature more than 36,000 delegates, which include negotiators, observers, and the media. Its theme is anchored on reducing emissions through climate change mitigation and just energy, building climate resilient societies, and investing in solutions to counter the effects of climate change. While COP27 concluded with a resolution to establish and operationalize a loss and damage fund, COP28 aims to build on that premise. Environmental activists review COP27 exceptions from COP28 and explains the need for Nigeria to develop the capacity for renewable energy.
If we're going to conquer the rising, temperature and the carbon footprint, we need to keep energy to check, and this requires that we give people access to renewable energy as against, this high concentrated cost energy that we use that also in another way affects the entire ecosystem of the global, warming space.
During last year's summit in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, nations agreed to establish a fund to help poor, vulnerable countries cope with climate disasters worsened by the greenhouse gases pumped into the atmosphere by industrialized nations. This year, the United Arab Emirates, the world's fifth largest oil producer, is hosting the climate talks. That has drawn the anger of many activists, complicating the negotiations. The conference is also happening against a backdrop of geopolitical turmoil, including wars in the Middle East and Ukraine, making cooperation between nations even more difficult.
For me, one thing that would be very useful, that would be a reference point, even at the African Climate Summit, it again reverberated because the whole call for more resources to implement the Paris Agreement on climate change. The other second things that we think that was also very important, that the influence of multinational oil company. While we are all working towards renewable energy, the power of this multinational oil company is even become more visible, even as we also approach COP28. That will be an issue to be addressed.
COP28 is coming at a decisive moment for international climate action, where temperature records are repeatedly being broken by significantly wide margins and climate impact. One priority Nigeria must diligently build upon, in line with expectations from COP28, is to tackle the nation's energy crisis with renewable energy. This priority aligns with one of the goals of COP28 to fast-track the energy transition and slash emissions before 2030 and climate change.